Hello, I'm Jake MD, and today we're going to talk about the match. And if you don't know what the match is, it's where medical students figure out what residency program they're going to be going into. So, how this works is medical students, right before their first year of medical school, will be going to fill out an application. It's a centralized application that works for basically all the residency programs in the country, and you fill out either categorical or advanced programs. And this is something that even as a third year medical student I did not understand. So categorical means that you do all your training in one program all at once. So for anesthesia, for example, you can do a categorical program, which is a 4-year program, or you can do an advanced program, which just is the 3 anesthesia years of residency. And then you have to find another program that just does internship training to do your first year training. And there's a couple specialties that have it both, like anesthesia. I think there's some EM programs that do that. But there's some that are heavily favored towards the advanced program, which are programs like ophthalmology, dermatology, those types of programs that you need to get a background training, but it's not really integrated into your experience of the rest of residency. Um, Radiology is another one that has some advanced programs because your medical background and training doesn't really play into what you're going to be doing following that in residency. It's not like internal medicine where that intern year training is pretty critical to how you take care of people and manage people because the intern year has a lot of medicine and is pretty heavily medicine based. So that's where those tend to be integrated so that program can mold you for an extra year into the type of internal medicine doctor, family practice doctor, or places that want to have a bigger stranglehold on how you're taught and how you're doing. It's also nicer for a lot of people to do a categorical program since you do not have to move again if you can't find a intern year program in the same city that you're going to be doing residency, and that's a huge benefit. Or like in my situation, my wife works and she'd have to find a job for that single year and then find another job um, once we were doing my residency, specifically if we couldn't have found an internship in the same city. And how the match works is you fill out an application, send it to all the programs that you're interested in. They will look through those applications and invite you to interview. After your interviews, instead of offering you a job outright, they basically make a list of all the applicants and how much they like them, and have a rank list of what order they would like all of those medical students to get into their program. So if it's a huge program, they might have a list of 200 people. If it's a smaller one, they might have a list of 100 people or 50. It really depends on the program and how prestigious they are and how likely they feel like they are to match people. And all the applicants do the same thing. And after everyone has made their lists of where they want to go, they have it all sorted out by a computer program. And it is a centralized thing that happens on one day. So on this year, it is March 13th. You will get a notice. I think it's an email now that just says if you matched or did not match. And if you did not match, that means that you were not in all the programs you ranked on your list. None of them wanted you more than the other people that they accepted. So you have to do what was called the scramble at the time that I did it, or now it is the supplemental. Here, let me get the name of it. The Supplemental Offer and Acceptance Program. And I think they just changed the name to make it sound a little bit more PC, because the scramble makes it sound really really uncomfortable and kind of a burdensome process to go through, which it still is, but they want to make it sound better, so they switched the name. And basically what the scramble is you'll look at, they'll publish a list of all of the unfilled residency program or internship spots in the country, and you'll call them, send your information to them, your resume, your letters, and everything, and hope to get an offer from one of them to a position so you have someplace to go and do residency. And it can be very stressful. It happens most often in very competitive specialties, say dermatology, ophthalmology, um, ortho, plastics, those types of things, where it's really difficult to match in general, and you can apply to all the programs in the country and still not have a very good chance of getting in if you're not an exceptional applicant. And that can be a really stressful time. So a lot of those folks that are in really competitive specialties breathe a big sigh of relief on that March 13th date if they just get a yes. So all that means is that you have a program somewhere. It does not mean that it is a program you ranked highly. It doesn't mean that it is a specific categorical advanced one if you ranked both. So there is a lot of anxiety as well, or excitement, to know what exactly you're going to be doing for the next 2.5 to 7 years. Then on March 17th of this year, they're going to have what's called Match Day. And that is where every medical school does this a little bit differently. Some just have envelopes that everyone opens at the same time. At my medical school, we actually got our envelope, walked up to the front of the auditorium where our whole class was, as well as all family members, significant others, and whatnot came and gathered, and they video streamed it to a bunch of outside places so that other providers and people that you worked with could watch it and see, or family members that couldn't make it. And you opened up your letter and you announced where you're going to go. So you found out at the same exact time that everyone else in the auditorium did. So as you can imagine, there was a lot of excitement as well as some people who are pretty upset depending on how far down their rank list they actually match to. And it is a really exciting but really stressful time because you're finding out March 17th where you're going to be going, and your program usually starts July 1st or last week of June. So you have to figure out how to move across the country, get your lease figured out, both find a place to live as well as employment for your spouse or significant other, or if you're going to live apart, and try to figure out all those logistical things while finishing up medical school and filling out all the credentialing paperwork to be licensed as a physician in that particular state. So it is a very exciting but very daunting time. And that's pretty much the main points of the match. It's something that every doctor goes through, and if you ask people, they'll usually have a pretty decent story about it. So if you're interested and curious or have someone coming up for the match, make sure you can check it out and see what's going on. Otherwise, have a good one.